Imagine two worlds colliding in ways so bizarre they sound like fiction. Today, we're diving into 5 of the strangest first contact stories ever recorded. These aren't just handshakes and treaties, think shock, confusion, and chaos. By the end, you'll see history in a whole new light. Let's jump in. Our first story begins with Zhang Qian, a courageous Chinese explorer dispatched by the Han Emperor in 125 BC. His mission? To journey west and seek out powerful allies against the Xiongnu nomads threatening China's borders. But fate had other plans. Soon after setting out, Zhang Qian was captured by those very same nomads and held prisoner for an astonishing 10 years. An entire decade spent in captivity, far from home, his mission seemingly doomed. Yet Zhang Qian never gave up hope. After a daring escape, he pressed onward, braving harsh deserts and treacherous mountains. His journey eventually led him to the lush Fergana Valley, what we now know as part of modern Afghanistan. There, to his amazement, he discovered a thriving civilization called Daxia. The city was bustling with life, trade, and culture, unlike anything he had ever seen before. But the real twist? The people of Daxia were Greeks, descendants of Alexander the Great's legendary armies, who had settled in Asia centuries earlier. Their existence was a complete mystery to the Chinese world. When Zhang Qian finally returned to China and reported his findings, his revelations stunned the Han court. Everything they thought they knew about the world was suddenly turned upside down. He described the Greeks' magnificent cities, their prized heavenly horses, and even grape wine, luxuries and wonders that were completely new to the Chinese. This single extraordinary encounter would open the Silk Road, forging a vital link between East and West, and changing the course of history forever. All because one determined man refused to surrender to fate and kept moving forward no matter the odds. Forget Columbus. What if I told you the Vikings set foot in North America nearly 500 years before him? Their journey across the Atlantic was a feat of courage, skill, and sheer determination, and it's all recorded in their ancient logbooks. Imagine the scene, a Viking longship slicing through icy waves, the crew bracing against the wind as they spot a strange forested coastline, what we now call Vinland. These Norse explorers, led by Thorvald Eiriksson, Leif Eriksson's adventurous brother, were among the first Europeans to lay eyes on the American continent. Thorvald Eiriksson, determined to explore further, led his crew deep into the wild forests of Vinland, searching for new opportunities and resources. But their arrival didn't go unnoticed. Soon, they encountered the indigenous people living there. Hopes for peaceful trade quickly dissolved as tensions rose. A violent clash erupted. The Vikings, unfamiliar with the land and its people, fought fiercely. Most of the locals were killed, but one managed to escape, racing through the forest to warn others. Reinforcements soon arrived, and a brutal battle followed. In the chaos, Thorvald was struck by an arrow and fatally wounded. His men buried him in the strange new land, far from home. Realizing Vinland was far too dangerous, the surviving Vikings made the difficult decision to abandon their camp and return to Greenland, leaving behind their dreams of a new world. The remains of their settlement and scattered weapons tell the story of a brutal first contact, one that ended their American adventure almost as soon as it began. Sometimes history's first meetings are anything but friendly. The Viking logbooks remind us that discovery often comes at a high cost, and the past is filled with stories of both bravery and tragedy. In the year 921, the Arab diplomat Ahmad ibn Fadlan embarks on a remarkable journey from the heart of Baghdad, traveling thousands of miles northward to the distant lands of what is now Russia. There, he encounters the Rus, a group of Norse traders and warriors known to us as the Vikings living along the Volga River. Ibn Fadlan is both fascinated and deeply horrified by the customs he witnesses among these people, especially when it comes to their funerals, which are unlike anything he has ever seen before. He observes the elaborate burial of a Viking chieftain, days of wild feasting, drinking and storytelling, followed by the ritual sacrifice of a slave girl chosen to accompany the dead leader into the afterlife, and finally, the dramatic burning of a ship loaded with the chieftain's possessions. Ibn Fadlan carefully records every detail in his writings, unable to hide his shock at the brutality and spectacle of the ceremony. His account is filled with vivid descriptions capturing both his awe and his horror. A Rus's man explains to him, "We burn our dead so that their souls may enter paradise at once without delay." This belief, so different from Ibn Fadlan's own, leaves a lasting impression on him. Through Ibn Fadlan's eyes we get a raw, unfiltered look at Viking beliefs and rituals, an outsider's perspective on a world that is both alien and fascinating, filled with mystery and violence. His account remains one of the most vivid and detailed windows into Viking life, offering historians and readers a rare glimpse into a culture that was rarely documented by outsiders. Sometimes first contact means seeing the world through someone else's eyes, experiencing the shock, wonder, and curiosity that comes from witnessing a completely different way of life. In 1543, a storm blows a Portuguese ship onto a Japanese island. The Japanese daimyo is stunned by the foreigners and their muskets. He buys the guns, and soon, Japanese blacksmiths are mass-producing firearms. Warfare in Japan changes overnight. Samurai swords give way to gunpowder. The Portuguese also bring Christianity, sparking conversions and cultural upheaval. But soon Japan cracks down, closing itself off for centuries. One shipwreck rewrites an entire nation's future. Sometimes history changes in a single, unexpected moment. 1825, South Africa. British teen James King is shipwrecked and meets Shaka Zulu, the legendary warlord. Instead of violence, Shaka is curious. He questions King about Britain and medicine. King becomes a confidant, even treating Shaka after an assassination attempt. Grateful, Shaka grants land that becomes Durban. But King also witnesses Shaka's ruthlessness and the cultural divide. This meeting is a mix of fascination, diplomacy, and danger. It's a rare, personal glimpse into a legendary ruler's world. First contact can be both opportunity and warning. So, which of these wild first meetings totally blew your mind? From lost Greeks to Viking funerals, these stories prove that history is often stranger than fiction. Let me know your favorite story in the comments. Hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more unbelievable history. Thanks for watching. See you next time.